Microphone check one, two. What is this? Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pam, and you are on PETV underscore reacts, where I do my movie and television reviews. Y'all, if y'all are liking what you're seeing and you're coming over from my first channel, Pam Entertainment TV, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe. I know y'all love it here. I know y'all absolutely positively love it here. And I'd love for you to be here. Again, hit that like button. I really do appreciate it. Y'all see what the thumbnail says? We are going over season 2, episode of Cross. So apparently this season is the overall theme is bitter fruit, but each there's an episode and each episode has a separate meaning. And so we are going to get into this. And again, before I get into all of this, please make sure you subscribe. If you like going over my celebrity legal news and my celebrity news and my pop culture chats, head on over to my first channel. That's Pam Entertainment TV. Head on over to my first channel. That's Pam Entertainment TV. It's right down in there. It says Pam Entertainment TV. Now that's my Cash App, but Pam Entertainment TV is my YouTube page name as well. And so I would love for you all to go ahead and follow me over there. Please tell a friend, tell a kin, and tell a coworker that I'm making these videos, because if I can get 200 subscribers, I can go live, and these reviews, some of these reviews, 1 or 2 episodes, these reviews will be live. I'll be doing live other things too, reactions to different things. So y'all stay tuned for that. But let's get into this. Now remember, the whole season is called Bitter Fruit. And so episode 1 of Bitter Fruit is called Harrow. So let's talk about this first episode. Now, I will tell you that I may not, this is a spoiler ish type of review. I'm not going to go over every nook, cranny, and things, because I want you all to watch it. I want us to watch along with that so we can kind of discuss it down in the comments together. But listen, as this episode starts, we basically get a recap about what's going on. Before the episode starts, we get a recap of what happened last season. And last season was quite dark and harrowing. Okay. I will tell you, I have watched the first 3 episodes. I'm going to do each episode as its own individual. Uh, I'm going to do each episode as its own individual. This right here that I'm doing, child. So let's get into Harrow. As the episode opens, we see 2 people. They're on the docks. It's a man and a woman. And we find out that their names are Rebecca and Donnie. Rebecca and Donnie are in a boat, and they're getting ready to go somewhere off on the boat. We find out we don't see Rebecca because Rebecca is in the hull of the boat. But we see Donnie, and Donnie is on the deck with another man. I guess he works at this big house. And Donnie is lifting and putting all of the boxes onto the dolly so they can take up. We find out later that in those boxes is liquor. When we get into the house, baby, this is a house of debauchery. It's a whole lot of stuff going on in there. And when you look, some of them are grown women and some of them look like they're not grown women. And so as we continue on, when Donnie gets to the house, Rebecca is getting into the house. Let me back up. When Donnie gets into the house, he's opening the liquor and he's taking all the liquor out. The guy that owns the house comes down, and we find out his name is Helvig. He comes down, and he was looking for a particular type of alcohol. That alcohol is not there. Donnie says that he's got all these other boxes to open up, and if he does open it up, he'll make sure that he'll put it down there. The guy goes off. The guy goes off upstairs to a room, and in this room, he has this girl locked up. And it looks like she was like drugged or something from a club or something, because she had on club wear. He has her locked up, and he's, basically threatening to SA her child. But before he could do, Rebecca comes in, and she starts, she tells him to untie her at gunpoint. Uh, Helvig unties the girl. She tells the girl, there's a boat out there. You need to leave and go and get on the boat. She tells Helvig, you need to put these cuffs on and you need to put him from behind. So she then begins to taunt him and everything like that, asking him, does he remember her? And he's like, no, I don't know what's going on. I don't know you. And he says, then she tells him, they say I have her eyes. And then baby Helvig's eyes got like biggest saucers because he was looking like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And the next thing I know, child, she tells him something. She goes into this little monologue. Before I know it, she prunes him from the timeline from his neck, and then she cuts off 3 of his fingers. Then the scene changes, and we have Cross at the giving the academy for the new graduates, new recruits, rookies at the academy. He's giving the speech at the academy. I'm sorry, y'all. And he gives this speech and he talks about how, basically he's a good cop, but he also talks about a mistake that he did that was caught on camera. And he basically told them that they have to come in here doing their best. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to do all things, but they have to be accountable for the things. And he also bigged up his partner by saying when he made that mistake, the partner was the one that turned him in so that he can get the help that he needs. And now he has the help and now he's good. So they went back and forth. We see that L, who was with him last year, him and L have broken up, and this is 18 months after the last case, the last incident. So L is not trying to be with him. She's got him in the friend zone area or whatever, but she's still dating. And she's dating some guy named Trevor. And Trevor seems like a good dude, he appears to be this good dude, and he seems good for Elle, but Atlas seems like she's trying to play both sides to the middle. I'm not really sure how I'm most take with Elle, but she seems like she's taking both sides of the middle. So now we start getting into Agent Craig. Now you remember Agent Craig was there last year, and that was something shady about her all the time. Well, she gets a new case, and the new case is with this billionaire named Lance Durand. Lance Durand says that somebody is trying to prune him from the timeline, child, and he is running square. Now he runs a industry. He runs a corporation called Crestwood Industry, and this reminds me, a la what's his name? You know the guy in the Epstein files, the Microsoft man. I'm gonna get his name in a minute. Don't you? What is her name? But I'm talking about the Microsoft man, because he has bought all this farmland and all this land, and he wants to bioengineer all of this food that they want us to eat. Anyway, he owns Crestwood. He said that he had gotten a threat. And so, one thing about these billionaires, they have security, but when it gets to the point that things are going on and they don't want to appear like they are keeping things from the police, he talks to the director of the FBI, and the FBI puts Craig on the case. I think she's shady. They put Craig on the case, and the FBI director is telling wants Cross to be on this case because you remember they work for the Metropolitan Police, and you know that the Metropolitan Police, even though they are the city, DC is not considered a state or anything. That is just the seat of where our government is at. So even though they are the Metropolitan Police, they are paid for by the federal government. So they work in tandem with the federal government all the time. So it's not hard to believe that they're working together. Craig and Cross go out to the man's place, and we find out that he not only got a note, but he also got 3 fingers. And he claims up and down he doesn't know anything about the 3 fingers, and he wants them to investigate. But he wants his security personnel to be with them with the investigation. I already knew something was suspect about that because why would she need to be along? I can see her being a liaison. They can talk to her to let him know what's going on. But why would she need to be in the investigation? And yes, because I believe that they know more than what they're talking about. They got a suspect, and Durand and his security person is trying to make the person who gave him the fingers, they're trying to make him the suspect. And it feels like they're trying to lead the investigation, but Cross is too smart for that. He's like, oh hell no. You're not going to do that. You are not going to do that. So we run into Detective Akbar. Now, Detective Akbar, he's running down a lead for a gun that was used in a robbery, but it doesn't have a serial number. It's not that the serial numbers are filed off; it's that because the serial numbers were never stamped. And so, Agent Craig's boss tells her, "Look, we got a problem." Because Agent Akbar is going to run this down. And before he knows it, he's a decent enough cop and he's going to know that it came from the National Guard Armory in Wiley, Texas. And that was a military issue gun. And that's going to leave red flags for somebody whose code name is Mastermind. And there was a project called Bad Religion. Whatever this project is, baby, when I tell you Craig was shook, she was shook. She was, she was literally shook. And so and the her boss says, listen, because I guess all of them were in on it. He says, it's enough that you're gonna go to prison. And she was like, wait a minute, what you mean me going to prison? He said, because ain't nobody else. You're the last one. He says, if Mastermind wants this stuff to go down, it's going to go down. And you need to figure this out. You need to get to Mastermind before Mastermind gets to you and starts pruning you from the timeline. And so he wants her to take the fall for it. She's the one to be able to take the fall, because whatever happened, it must have been really, really bad, whatever that happens. So this, with Cross, we find that there's like a main investigation, and then there's these little side investigations, because you remember there was the main investigation for the serial killer in the last one, and then the side investigation was who killed his wife. So this season we have the main investigation with the I call them the Duolingo twins, Rebecca and Donnie, killing people. That's that's the main investigation. And then the side quest investigation, as we see with Agent Craig, is whatever happened with Bad Religion. We also have a second side investigation, and I'll get into that a little later. So let's continue. Cross goes to Aaron's house because John was ragging him, talking about, you in the friend zone. You were in the friend zone, and plus she's dating. Cross really wants to get back with Aaron, but you can tell that there's just some underlying stuff going on. He goes over there, and baby, yes, it was they do the nasty. It was a booty call, but Aaron tells him quick, I don't want no relationship with you. And I'm just sitting here, it's gonna be something. Watch either Erin's gonna get pregnant. I think Erin is going to be pregnant, but I'm just gonna let that fire because she's still trying to talk to Trevor. So they're going through the investigation. And, John does his little woo woo stuff, and they're finding out that this is probably something about retribution, trying to figure out how they all know all of this. While John was there at this thing, another one of his detectives, Amelian, she comes up and she says, well, this lady named LaDonna Duvernay is wants to talk with you. And he's like, LaDonna Duvernay? He's like, I don't know LaDonna Duvernay. Child, he goes in there and comes to find out that LaDonna Duvernay is in the hooscow for murder, and that she tells him that she's his mom. Now, child, bum, bum, bum. John didn't know that, because John had been told by Nana Mama that she was dead. The last thing we see is the murder Duolingo crew, Rebecca and Donnie. Child, they are in somebody's house. Well, actually, Donnie is in this lady's house with her husband and her family. And baby, I'm just sitting here like, they in this people's home, they in their sleep. And the other Duolingo killer, Rebecca, is in a casino. And baby, she's looking at this guy who is gambling. And the next thing you know, she do the nasty with this guy. She do enough nasty with him in his old nasty hot sex. And the next thing you know, the man just eases on that. I thought he was going to be somebody that she was going to prune from the timeline, but it's just that she had a scratch that she needed to itch. And so she had an itch that she needed to scratch. And she did that. And so it basically ended with John and Cross being on the rooftop. He asks John, is he okay? Since he finds out that that's his mom. He's like, I don't want to talk about it. I think John is a good friend in that point, that he's not going to talk to him about it, but he's not going to talk to him about it, but he's just going to be there for him as a friend. And that's how the episode ends. I will tell y'all really, really quick. Agent Cross is worrying me. Not Agent Cross. Agent Craig is worrying me, because whatever this mastermind is, it's to the point where it's going to cost her career and possibly her life. We need to know, why is that? We also need to know why the Duolingo twins, Donnie and Rebecca, they're not actually twins, but that's what I'm going to call them throughout this thing. I have to have a nickname. We need to figure out why the Duolingo twins are running around here pruning from the timeline this millionaire, and threatening to kill this other billionaire. They're threatening to kill this other billionaire. Child, we gonna find out. All right, people, we do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Hey, we're gonna be coming back with episode 2 of Cross. And again, the whole season is called Bitter Fruit. And I just reviewed episode 1, which was called Harrow. Please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye.